candid conversations, unfiltered opinions, and humor with Abeg's podcast.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to our episode today. Today, I have Ben. Ben and I met, I think, about a year ago, I think. Today, Ben is here talking about mushrooms. And Ben's new name is Ben the Mushroom Guy. So I'm curious. So if you're curious about this conversation, and as usual, pull up a seat, whether is understanding the business, the benefit of mushrooms, whatever it is, we're going to talk about it today. So pull up a seat and let's listen. Hi, Ben. Welcome.
Hey, I'm excited to be back and talking about a different topic that's probably unexpected, but I'm pretty certain all of your entrepreneurs or people with a side hustle, whatever they want to call themselves, are looking for a way to get a competitive advantage. And that's what we want to be sharing with people today is like how they can get that competitive advantage. And it's not got anything to do with more sugar. It's got nothing to do with more caffeine. And for a lot of people, chasing that hamster wheel is extremely taxing and problematic on their bodies, as I'm sure you're well aware.
Yeah. So how did this pivot happen for you? And it's very common with entrepreneurs where we're passionate about one thing and something comes along. It's like, oh, I never thought about that, but here it is. And I'm super excited for it. How did this happen for you, Ben?
Yeah, so the big thing came for me is I had a whole bunch of stuff going on with a bunch of partners, and I had to make some decisions in my life. I'm like, hey, what do I want to do? What do I want to be a part of? What do I want to be building for the next 40 years of my life? And I got tired of working on all the stuff I was working on. I was completely burnt out. I put in several hard years and just had some taxing relationships. And I was consulting to Fortune 100 companies. And yeah, that sounds great. But sometimes they're a real pain in the ass too. And like you have meetings about meetings for an agenda for a meeting. I'm like, I just want to get some shit done. Like, seriously, can we just get to the results already?
Right.
So I had to really question a whole bunch of stuff in my life, and it was just an opportunity presented itself. And it was in the world of mushrooms. I knew absolutely nothing about mushrooms. I was just looking at some of the data on one of my websites. I was able to acquire over 4,578 clients in 3.5 months from Facebook ads. So just under 4 months from a few Facebook ads. I've never been in the mushroom business before. I knew nothing about mushrooms, and to date, I still haven't grown a single mushroom. But yet now we're on a track to be one of the largest mushroom distributors in the country. And we're working on building a very large mushroom farm here in Pea Ridge, Arkansas, where we will be growing in excess of 50,000 pounds of mushrooms a month for our own instant meals and our mushroom jerky. So this pivot happened all because of burnt out, frustration. And I'm like, I just want to do something where I can commit the rest of my life to. And sometimes when you ask the universe, it aggressively slams some doors, but yet it'll always open a window. And I had to have some patience to realize that, yeah, this is the window I can devote my life to. So I literally got rid of everything. I got rid of every other distraction in my life. And I think that's one of the big reasons that's created the success that we're having is it's sheer focus. It's not a side hustle focus. It's not, oh, I'm going to try this and see how it responds, because I can tell you, it took 3 months to get things moving. And the first 3 months sucked. Really sucked. But it was momentum. And when you got the foundations right, it just started compound. It just started, like sales would double month over month. And now they're just continuing. So like, it's all because I put the work in where it would have been really easy to be busy on more what we could say is meaningful things.
Yeah. So let's talk about that difficult 3 months, right? You've been very transparent in how this is new to you. You've never grown a single mushroom, but this is something that definitely piqued your interest. What was the reason why you stuck it through for those 3 months? Because most people give up in that 3 months time frame you talked about, when things get difficult, when it feels like, okay, I'm not even breaking, let alone breaking even. So what was your why? What made you stick it through those 3 to 4 months?
I had to keep saying to myself, the obstacle is the way. And one of the things that you have to realize as an entrepreneur, every business is going to have obstacles. Every business is going to have challenges. I see, and I've been a victim of this, many entrepreneurs will start something new. They'll go in a different direction. But then they're always starting. They hand you 3 different business cards because they got this and they also do this, and then they do yard cleaning on the side, and then they do garage sales and eBay on the side of that. And now like there's always something new. But you don't realize is you don't scale any of it. And every business is going to have its challenges. Every business, you have to go, look, what am I really committing to, hell or high water? And for me, it meant selling off all my other companies, closing companies down, even though I'd spent a lot of money on them. It's just like, no, this is it. Burn the bridges and make it happen. I had to get clear on what the progress was. Like, what were the goals to make happen each month? Where were we moving through? Like getting 10 sales a day, 50 sales a day, 100 sales a day. What was that momentum? And what was that flag I was planning in the sale? And everything else of that was a distraction. And I did this while being in an RV, traveling around the country, kind of enjoying my life a little bit, being challenged in new ways. And yeah, so if you want to have obstacles and excuses, there was 100 of them. I was having clients call me every week going, hey, you want to come back and help us with this? And you want to do this? And you want to do that? I'm like, no, I really, really don't. Even though there was a lot of shiny opportunity to distract me. But then I realized, where would I be in 12 months? And if you look, it's a tough thing, I think, in business to look at the older entrepreneurs and really go, who do you want to be like? There's that guy who's been doing the same thing for 40 years, 30 years, and they're quite well to do. They've got a life. It may not be sexy, but they worked it through, good times and bads, and they have something to show for it. Then you've got always the flashy, more showy people who they're always doing something cutting edge, but like, what have they done per se? What's that legacy? And I think you've got to really look around the room. And I know some of my most successful friends in business, construction workers, concrete, electrical, blue collar trades. A lot of my friends who are all the coder, the smart guys, all this type of stuff, they're always doing cool shit. But like, what do they have? What do they have as an asset pool? What do they have as consistency? And they have tremendous, like they have huge ups, huge downs. Like they swing. And I really had to get clear on my life. What do I want? What's most important to me? And I think one of the big red flags in my life now is people who come to me and go, I've got a once in a lifetime opportunity. I'm like, no, buddy, I create once in a lifetime opportunities and I'm a part of that right now. Like, so the thing is there's always a new opportunity. It's only sexier because you don't know the crap that's on the other side of that fence. And that's a hard pill to swallow, I think, if we want to talk real. Like we've all been there. It's tough to slog something out when it's not working. It's tough to go, I'm spending thousands of dollars a day on Facebook ads and it sucks. But one of the things I really took in from Alex Hormozi was to lift your eyes on the horizon and to have a longer timeline. Because everything we do over 1 month, 3 months, 6 months may feel like it sucks. But when you look back over 6 months, 12 months, 24 months, you're like, holy crap, we've done a lot. People say to me, Ben, how have you done this in a year? I'm like, so I just got busy doing it, not talking about it. And I think there's a big difference. Does that make sense?
It makes perfect sense. When the age of entrepreneurship, that we're encouraged to talk about the things that we're building, things that we're doing, but sometimes the talking about it is also a distraction because you are inadvertently opening yourself up to the distractions and your opinions that are not necessary for your growth. That bearing down for those 3 months and doing the thing is quite commendable. And here you are. And in the other aspect of things, I just have one question for you, talking about your other businesses. Do you feel like if you were not the face of the business, if you were not the thing for the business, that it would have maybe helped to redelegate responsibility and step away while the business still ran, while you focused on whatever it is that you have now focused and made successful? So, because that is my one hang up with businesses that run on your brain. When you're
No,
the
so
face of the business. Yeah.
anything that runs on your brain requires bandwidth. And it was like, what am I built? What's going to be around for the next 40 years? And
Right.
like, I literally had a contract on the sale of my business, on one of the businesses I was selling, which had been in existence for over 10 years. And it was okay. It was great. I hadn't touched this business in 5 years and it was still paying me. I couldn't get rid of the clients. And the guy, I had a contract on it, had a really good offer on it. And I said to the guy, look, I will take 1/4 of the money if you can close in the next 7 days. I need a check or wire transfer by Friday and the deal is yours. He's like, why would you do that? I'm like, I want it off my brain space. I want it out of the work of my assistants. I want it out of the work of my team. So I can take my team and even though they maybe were putting 30 minutes a day into it, it was still 30 minutes they could have been putting into what I wanted them. And it was still a leech, even though it was paying me and it had paid me for years. And I'm like, look, just do it. And now it's compounded. Like it has come back 100-fold. So yeah, I could have had remote managers in, I could have had VAs running it. Crap, that's what I had now. But it's this itch in the back of your head that's just like robbing you of full, complete devotion. And if you look at any of those old entrepreneurs who they're all getting older now, they're all retired or have been retired for a while, they may have multiple investments now. But I can tell you probably for the first 10 to 20 years, they didn't. So what makes them different from you? Like, I love that thing of people go, oh, you need 7 ways of income. You need all that diversification. Once you've got cash flow and things happening, but what happens with every entrepreneur? We run out, we've got 12 different companies, 10 different things, 2 different opportunities that are like life-changing. So we've got all the distribution, but no systemized cash flow, no one system that's working. And you know what? Sometimes just building that is really freaking hard. And people go, well, Ben, why don't you want to sell this company? I'm like, I never want to sell. I'm building a recurring cash flow machine that has a passionate amount of people. Like I'm literally opening up my books right now and we're creating distributors. We're actually I'm turning everything I'm doing into a business opportunity to empower others to make notes and sharing the blueprints of actually how we did it, and we'll literally do it for them, right? And in that process, it's fascinating because it's just like, yeah, we want people committed and focused, and we need them to be focused on this because, yeah, I can help you make 10, 20, 50, 100 grand a month, but you're not going to do it by doing 4 or 5 or 6 other things. Because when this requires you to put in the 80-hour weeks, I need you to put in the 80-hour weeks. Otherwise, it's going to be no different from everything else you're doing. And I was talking to a guy yesterday, or just the other day, and we were talking about the cost to acquire a customer. And I don't think people really understand that. What I'm talking about is like, you pay to acquire a customer one way or the other. Time, money, effort, energy, promotional materials. There's a cost. And most people, they're like, I can go get these customers for free at a networking. No, it's not really free. You're spending hours and you're doing a $25 an hour rate. You're $50 an hour. People go, oh, I charge $150 an hour consulting. But yet you're standing at this booth for free for 3 days.
You paid for the
paid to be there. And then I'm like, yet you're $150 an hour. Like, where's how? I'm $500 an hour. In what right mind are you $500 an hour when you're literally doing a $15 an hour, $20 an hour task? So there's been a lot of lessons around that, right? And it's just like, okay, what are you willing to pay? And like, I know what I'm willing to pay to acquire a customer, but also a customer for life that's paying me $150, $300, $500 a month. That's what the power of what we have, because we've created products that just blow people's minds, right? So would you pay $50? Would you pay $150? Would you break even in the first month? And that's one of the things I set out to do. Is like, could I just break even in the very first month with my customer acquisition? So then every month after that, second purchase, third purchase, fourth purchase, I can be profitable. And I think a lot of people look at customer acquisition wrong. So my one secret to anyone here who's trying to do something, what's it cost you to acquire a customer who's buying from you 2, 3, 4, 5 times? And focus in all on that. You know what? It may cost you $1,000 to acquire that customer, but over the course of the next 12 months, they might give you $10,000, $20,000, $50,000 back. Like, is it worth it? People are like, no. Well, yeah, I think it is. Because you're ahead of the game. So, and that's some of the big lessons I've had to learn. Like, we've had to take a lot of the stuff that you talk about and preach about and consulting and everything and really do it. And you can tell the difference between the people who are doing it versus the people who are talking about it. There's just a difference. And like, I've paid so much in consultants this year. CRO testers, optimization testers, and they're like, oh, we can improve your conversions by this because blah, blah, blah does it this way and it all works this. I've seen some of them tank my conversions by 66%. And I can tell you, I have ugly landing pages. I have ugly ads. And they're like, oh, if it was prettier, it would work better. I'm like, all right, show it, prove it to me. And you know what's funny is I love the people who make these offers for cold email. I'm like, well, so you work on a performance guarantee, right? Like, you'll back your work. And I'm like, if you can make it work, I'll certainly pay you. But I'm not going to pay you $10,000 for it to not work, and then you'll work on it to make it work for free. I'm like, no, you won't. As soon as it's not working, you've already moved on to the next client because you know I'm not going to pay you the second month. But I'll pay you 100 times I'll pay for the life of the clients if you can improve conversions and make it work. Because I know the work required to make something work is 100 times more than just building that first landing page or that first email template and all this type of stuff. And at one point I was just like, how do I just improve the business 1% each day? How do I just bump my conversions? I did stupid stuff. Like for the first 3-4 months of my business operation, I never sent clients an email. And people were like, why didn't, because I was busy getting the ads working. And then I didn't even think about sending emails or text messages and all this type of stuff. And then I implemented that and added another $20,000 in sales. I'm like, what an idiot. But like some things honestly don't matter if you're just doing the right things. And I think as entrepreneurs, it's easy to think we need to do it all when really there's only so many few things you actually need to do to be successful.
I think it's the shiny objects. I don't know whether to call it an analogy, but we always try to level up with other entrepreneurs. What's everybody else doing? When really, what really works is the simplest thing.
Yeah.
Those things that
But
you
it's
don't.
also what have they been through, and we miss
Yeah.
what they did for 1 year, 3 years, 5 years, 6 years, 10 years. They're 15 years into this. Like we think we can go from 0 to 15 years in just by watching a 30-minute course. Like what?
Also, it's not all on the entrepreneur side. The coaches and people who sell this course make it seem that way as well. So it's unrealistic expectation on both sides. It's all a lesson you have to learn through this journey. It doesn't matter if you've been on it for 10, 20, 15 years or you just started. You have to learn your groove and you have to learn to really start at the bare minimum and grow from there, because you cannot want to have the lifestyle the people that have been doing this for 15 plus years on social media have. It takes a while. So let's talk about your mushrooms. I saw you hold up bottles and I'm very curious. So you talked about opening a farm in Arkansas. So are they specific mushrooms that you're selling or this mushroom supplement? Is it a combination of mushrooms? Because we have lion's mane, we have oysters, we have portobello mushrooms, we have so many of them. Even the black ones, what do you call them? Something wood. It is very common in the Asian cuisine. So what really are we doing here, Ben, with the mushroom?
Yeah, so one of the things that when I went into the mushroom world, I was unaware of how snake oilsy it was. And I've learned a whole bunch. So one of the things I did is I got frustrated with all of the products in the industry because I'm like, they claim great benefits. Mushroom coffee is one of the worst things because like it's literally got a fart's worth of mushrooms. It says, if you take lion's mane, you have cognition and clear mind and get rid of brain fog and all this type of stuff. But what they fail to tell you is that you need a dose of 3,000 milligrams. And in their supplement, they have 50 milligrams, or they've got a proprietary blend of 2,000 milligrams of mushrooms. What they don't tell you is it's 98% sawdust. So it's never going to work for you. So if you've ever had a mushroom product and you're like, I didn't feel any, it's because you got lied to. Yes, there's benefits in mushrooms. Yes, they've been used for centuries and there's massive amounts of research coming out. What we realize is it's all about how it's extracted, the potency of the extraction. And one of the things I realized is when I was designing these products and sitting down with some of the world's best lab technicians was there's 1,000 different ways I can compromise the quality of the product, right? And I always had to say to myself, what is it that we stand for? And like the sign behind me literally says, no fillers, all power. That was our motto, no fillers, all power. So I had to make that decision. Look, I'm not going to compromise on the quality. Yeah, the product's going to be expensive because it takes us 8 weeks to make every extraction for every bottle. 8 weeks. This is not something I whip up in 30 minutes, that if I did want to whip up in 30 minutes, I could save myself tens of thousands of dollars. But what's most important to me is the client experience. So we give them products that are 95% plus bioavailable. Potent and bioavailable are some of the key words you need to take away from this, because it's like, can my body process what it's actually consuming? You feel these within 5 to 15 minutes. The cordyceps in this are so powerful that you'll have 4 to 6 hours of clean, smooth energy without a crash, without jitters, because of what's in this. So we've made proprietary blends, which it may sound similar to a lot of other products, but what's not similar is our extraction process. We use a 500-year-old spagyric extraction process, which is one of the most expensive, complicated, time-consuming extraction processes for any type of plant-based medicine. So we use water, we use alcohol, but then what we also do is we take that raw mushroom we've been using and we burn it back. We literally turn it into ash and turn it into calcification, add it back into the mixture, and that adds all the additional salts and fats and minerals and all this type of stuff back into this brew. So it's some of the most potent stuff you'll ever have. So now you've only got to take one dropper full of this, not 4. And it's funny when you look at a lot of these gummy companies, even our gummies, we've got our own gummies. You can take one of our gummies versus 8 to 12 of our competitors. And people are like, yeah, but Ben, all the competitions sell them in packs of 8. And I know I take 8. I'm like, yeah, don't take 8 of these. You won't sleep for 3 days. Like the all day energy gummies, like you take 2 of them in the morning, you've got smooth energy for 6 to 8 hours. And they're like, Ben, your relaxed gummies are so small. I'm like, yeah, but they're so potent. I don't have to be massive. I don't have to be Texas big to be powerful. Does that make sense?
Sounds, yeah.
Yeah. So
So you have 3 different colors, I see. And is it flavored or is it for different things? Because with mushrooms, some people need it for energy, some people need it for mental clarity, some people need it for treating different neurologic or physiologic, disturbances, because I don't want to call them disease or disorders because, the medical world. So are you color coding it because of what they do, or are you color coding them because of kind of like a flavoring?
yeah, so no, there's no flavoring. We don't use any sugars or any flavorings with any of our
Okay.
products. They're all natural. So there's no glycerins, there's no any additives like that are harmful or sugars. They're just different adaptogenic blends. And what most people do, so for example, is we've got one that's focused around performance
Okay.
and uplift, so immunity and mood. So what most people do is they combine these with their coffee or their tea or their smoothie in the morning. You take a shot of those, and then you may take it again after lunch, or you may just take the mood one after lunch. Because you know what? I've been a little bit pissed off today. I'm a little bit frustrated with some of those phone calls. You know what? I've got I got to go deal with the kids now, whatever it is. Like you may need something to boost the immunity, particularly this time of year, people getting sick, all that type of stuff. So keeping that strong. And then this one is designed about relief, relaxation, recovery. It's got ashwagandha in it as well. That helps people, their body heal. I've got people who have this one and they've had PTSD from veterans and they haven't been able to sleep. Some of them told me they haven't slept in 20 years. They've taken this. And by the second day, they're sleeping better than they've slept in years. So the results is just we've color coded them just to help people organize. And what we realized is we were selling a one size fits all tincture originally. But we realize is that every day is different for each of us. And some days we need more energy. Some days we just need to battle something we're battling because we picked up a butt. Other days we just need great rest, all this type of stuff. So it becomes very important. And this allows you to customize your protocol for how you want your body to heal. Most people take one of these each day, but most people kind of take a blend of all 3 to help them throughout the day, so to help them wind up, but then to help them also wind down in a clean way that's got no sugars, no caffeine, no crashes, none of that stuff.
Beautiful. How about the gummies? Where do the gummies come in?
The gummies. So we have the 2 energy gummies and we have our Relax Amanita gummy. So most people, like I'll take 2 of these energy gummies in the morning and then I take this as well. And then that gives me my energy. I'm not craving 10 cups of coffee anymore, all this type of stuff. Amanita is great for people dealing with inflammation issues, immunity-based issues, pain recovery, back pain, that type of stuff, or you just need a really good thing to sleep. We have a lot of people coming to us who are getting off cannabis, funny enough, because cannabis actually puts them in the couch and they lose their brain power, where Amanita muscaria has been a highly misunderstood mushroom. And it's very powerful for dealing with inflammation and pain. And what it does do is it doesn't impact your cognition. So that way I can have the pain relief or the inflammation relief, the arthritic relief, but it's not putting me in the couch and therefore impacting my performance. So the gummies become optional. Some people just have the gummies instead of the tinctures because they're like, these are too strong, too potent for me. So we've got them in gummy form as well. So that's really the big difference. But what we know is that once people try these products, they love it. And that's why I literally design the entire business model. I was just looking for someone on my desk. We literally designed the entire business model for people to try our products. They just pay the shipping. They can try our products first, see if it works for them, then they buy them. Or every other company that's in this space is literally buy this for $150 or buy the $500 box that's got 5 bottles and blah, blah, blah. And they're going to give you 10 other types of bonuses and things as well. And then you get the product and you're just like, nah. So we just go, look, just pay shipping and I'll send you $125 worth of products for free. Try it. And if you like it, then it works. So we have a 3-day protocol we've actually designed for people based on being able to sample our products first, see how it works for them, see what it feels like, and then from there they get to grow on it.
Beautiful. So going back to your mushroom farm, you're looking to start your farm with all the mushrooms that you use in preparing your product. At the moment, how are you sourcing your product?
So it's actually for the creation of 2 new products. So we've got a 28-acre property in Pea Ridge, Arkansas, and that we're building our farm on. So I've actually turned our entire farm into a co-op. So we're actually sharing the profits back with co-op members as a way for us to give back to the community and for us to build a community. And that's actually going to be growing 2 specific mushrooms, lion's mane and king trumpet. So that way we can grow those mushrooms specifically for our instant meals. So we're actually going to be creating mushroom-based instant meals, or MREs, meals ready to eat, and mushroom jerky. And through that, we plan on feeding 1 million people next year, and helping with 1 million meals.
Beautiful. So what has the challenge been? I know you've transitioned from boardroom C-suite, executive suite, to a farmer. How has that journey been? How rewarding is it?
It's actually some of the most rewarding work I've done in my life. Some of the simplest work, breaking wood for a fire, cleaning land, the testimonials and feedback that we get, where you're impacting people's life. Like, you're allowing them to sleep when they haven't slept in years. You're giving them energy. Like, I have many days, 70-plus-year-old people call me and go, Ben, I no longer have to have a nap. He goes, for a young guy like you, like, I'm 43. They're like, that may not sound like much to you, but he goes, I've got the energy to have time with my grandkids and my partner. And he goes, I've used to have a nap for 20 years. I've been having a 45-minute nap every single day. He goes, you don't understand that I end the day with the same amount of energy I start with. And I'm getting an extra hour of life. And like, that doesn't sound like much, but when you think about it, you're like, wow, that's actually quite significant. And it's all because, like, we just built this philosophy around no compromise. So some of the hardest things are actually the most rewarding. But now when we commit to no compromise, like, it's really easy to see it through and stand out. But to do it to begin with was harder, because I had to pay the price. I had to pay the price in time. I had to pay the price in money, in developing a product that was leagues above everything else in the market. It's one of those tough decisions, but I believe it's been the right thing, and it's going to be the right thing for everything we're doing. So now we're even going to be able to grow our own food. We're going to be able to teach people how to grow their food. We're going to be able to supply people. So partway through next year, we'll be able to supply people with a turnkey mushroom farm that they can operate in their garage, or they can put a 20-foot shipping container or a 40-foot shipping container in their backyard or their property. We'll even send them every week, every month, all the mushrooms they need to grow. They can have local food, and we can show them how to turn that into tens of thousands of dollars a month. Not expecting them to be a marketing genius. So literally giving them a system to feed their community. And I think over the next coming years, that's going to become very, very important for people. Access to food. I see what's going on in the food industry now, and I think it's a little scary, because when I go, okay, where are we going to be in 5 to 10 years? How are we going to be with all these farmers right now who cannot harvest their products? Like, so where's our food coming? Regardless of a politician, this is not political. This is like, there's just stuff going on worldwide, right? And I'm like, some people have told me that the 30s may be some of the toughest years, similar to the Dust Bowl. And I'm like, if that's the case, will my business survive, and how will I survive? Become interesting questions when you start thinking like 5, 10 years out and go, how do I get through that time? Not, how do I just get through next week? How do I get through surviving to pay the rent? Because that may get a hell of a lot.
True. It's that foresight. And sometimes being in the corporate world has a way of sucking you in. Those golden handcuffs is very delicious, whether you're a consultant or you're an employee. Kudos to you on that, on having the foresight to kind of like step away. So I want you to please talk about navigating the snail's oil salesy side of the mushroom world, and also touch on how people can find you, because I would like for our listeners to be able to find you, find your landing page, and be able to try out your product and become your customers.
Yeah. So the easiest way to find us is bearremedy.net, BARE, bearremedy.net, because it's all pure, all power. And if you reach out or if you even send an email, help@bearremedy.net, we'll get you access or send you the link for where you can get the free samples. You just pay the shipping. The shipping costs $9.99. That's the cheapest we can get from USPS by the time we factor in packaging and all that goods. And so that's probably the easiest way for people to get a hold of us and start understanding like what do good mushrooms really look like. And we're happy to answer any question they have, any information they want to know, to help them on their holistic health journey. And as part of our goal, we want to help over 1 million people a year on their holistic health. We don't tell them what holistic health is or what holistic should mean. It's like, what does it mean to you? And then just how do we support you? Because not everyone needs more energy. Some people just need more immunity stuff. Some people need more mood. Like even though I was in the world of consulting, I was really, really depressed. I struggled with depression for many, many years. And even though I was doing great things, sitting there crying on the couch, couldn't get off the couch because I just resented, not hated, but resented what I was doing or how I was doing it, or I wasn't free. And like sometimes you try these things just to unlock some of that. And I don't think a lot of people speak about that honestly enough, with what they're doing. And so that's when people say, well, you've really got to unlock what you're passionate about. Yeah, we're all passionate about money. We're all passionate about stuff, but it comes down to bigger than you. And I know after a mushroom trip I had, because I don't have kids and I'm not going to be having any kids. So the question came down to, well, why am I building $100 million company? Who am I leaving it to? That becomes a pretty tough question because then you're like, well, what am I doing it for? I could just travel around the world and enjoy life and just have fun. And then I'm like, well, no, I want to help 1 million people. I want to help 1 million people understand what holistic health is and just feel better with whatever they define as feel better. And I'm like, well, I'm going to create a company and turn the whole thing into a co-op. So it's member benefit driven. All the profits go back to the members. All the profits go back to the people who were committed to the vision. And if I can do that, then that's worth devoting the next 40 years of my life.
Well, just observation. The Ben I interviewed late last year and the Ben I'm talking to today, two different people. And the
100%.
change is very remarkable and very positive. You are calmer and more content. You come off more content and satisfied with where you are. And it's beautiful to see. The passion, the passion is still there, but in a different vibration. You just are vibrating a lot different. I love this for you, Ben, and I love this journey for you. I really do.
Me too. I'm enjoying it too. And it's, I think we've all got to go through those lessons to get to where we want to get to. And I think some of the stuff we need to look at is like, who do we really want to be like? And I think we deceive ourselves with a lot of the material stuff because I don't know how much happier it really, really makes you.
Good for you. Good for you, Ben. I'm very happy for you. And with the co-op stuff, if somebody wants to be a part of it, I know you like right now you're in Arkansas. Are you looking to expand past the state of Arkansas, or can people in other states, say somebody's in the east or anywhere in the Midwest or West or in the South, they actually want to get involved with the co-op aspect of things, or even with your plan to help people start their own mushroom farms, whether in a container in their backyard someplace? How can somebody get involved in that process?
Yeah, so that's through the company Bear Remedy Grow. So we've got a separate section. So we've got our marketing supplement business and our Grow Fuels, the marketing supplement company. So we've actually created Bear Remedy Grow. There's a link to that on the website. They can
Beautiful.
see what that looks like. And that's just expanding, and the opportunities with that are just getting bigger and bigger. It's quite phenomenal. We will probably have over 100 farms probably within the next 24 months leveraging our grow systems in our grow operations, because we're not just because a lot of people get mistaken. It's like, it's not just about growing mushrooms. It's like, what the hell happens once you've got 1,000 pounds of mushrooms?
Yeah.
How do you turn that mushroom into a product that people want to pay for? How do you create customs? How do you create clients? And that's actually the most important part. So we're simplifying the mushroom growing so you can even focus on just the growing, the fruiting, not all the technical lab stuff. Yeah, we're creating a quite fantastic opportunity for people to skin.
I love it. I absolutely love it. So thank you, thank you. So in the spirit of our show here, Ben, before I let you go back to your farm and vibrating higher than you've ever vibrated, what is the one thing that you would like our listeners to walk away from this conversation with? What are the golden nuggets you'd like to leave our listeners with?
So I think one of the golden nuggets is that the world of holistic health can be overwhelming and confusing. And there's a lot of information out there. And what you need to always be asking yourself is potency, bioavailability. No matter with any supplement you're out there, like how much of this will my body actually need and process? And how potent is it? And then that'll help you find quality products. And you're going to pay for quality products regardless. Don't be afraid of that, because it actually becomes cheaper in the long run. Because when you start talking about dosage, you have to ask yourself, well, what was the dose in that clinical trial? And a lot of people don't think like that. They go, oh, the marketing of this is great. This celebrity's using this. This influencer's using this. Yeah, but they're getting paid to use that. This is the world. Let's just be real. So you need to start asking yourself, well, what's the dosage that's right for me? And what's the protocol that's right for me? And sometimes you're the only person who's going to be able to get you that information. And unfortunately, you're going to have to try it and have to test it. You may have to experiment a little bit. Some people prefer the gummies over the tincture. Okay, some people like the tincture over the gummies. Like, that's what's right for you. Own it, love it, live it. Like, and you'll really get the benefit of it. But the world of holistic health, it's confusing and overwhelming. And this is someone who's been in it, traveled all around the world to learn, get access to people, deal with health issues all around the world. And I don't think it's getting easier. And the people we want to recommend stuff sometimes aren't. And it's because they're in a business model that doesn't facilitate them to do it. And we may hate it, but you just have to understand that this is the game. Do it. But always trying to find the community of people you can ask, because there's other people going down the path and you're not alone.
Right.
And so that's one of the things we're doing around holistic health and creating that sense of community for people to belong and share what's working for them. Not what they read on a post on a forum that they've never done, but like, what do they actually do?
Thank you. That is very, very important. Don't always take what you see, especially on the internet, to be the gospel, for lack of a better way, or better analogy. Most people are influencers. Most people are being paid to say things that they're saying. So try it out yourself, especially if you're able to try out a sample before the product itself. See how it works for you. And don't commit to overspending on anything if you haven't even tried it a little bit. Your health is your health. And we're trying to move away from that schema of being told what is good for us or what we should take. So try out, listen to your body and try things out and see how it feels. And if it feels good, lean into it. You know your body will thank you for it. Thank you so much, Ben. And yeah, this was very informative. And, I like this journey for you again. And you're doing great work.
I appreciate it. I look forward to talking to you again soon.
All right. Thank you, everybody. Take care.
Thanks for tuning in to Abeg's podcast. If you enjoyed today's episode, don't forget to subscribe, rate, and leave us a review. It really helps us out. We'd love to hear your thoughts and continue the discussion. So join us on social media or drop us a message. Until next time, keep exploring, stay curious, and keep pushing the boundaries of your world.